Well, and so I guess because the music industry is also, you work with people you know, you work with friends in the industry. I was wondering, and Elliot, you mentioned that in your presentation. You mentioned diversity and working with different communities. And I was wondering, although it's great to work with friends, how do you actually make sure that you keep this diversity, and how do you make sure that your programmation is diverse?
I mean, maybe I'm just oversimplifying it, but for me, it's just being out a lot and meeting new people, broadening your horizons. Also, I think some people I was just talking to my friends actually about this. I think in this scene, people go out all the time and they kind of forget to actually like just take a weekend to chill, maybe hang out with some different people, like do something a bit different just to broaden your horizons. So I think that's also really, really good. It's just making sure that, you know, there's more to it than just clubbing, as much as I love techno. But, you know, it's good to meet new people and see what else is going on there. You just have to be active and putting in a lot of effort, and you can always like find new people to connect with or like new friendships. There's always friends to be made, you know.
Anything in place in Fold? Like we need to do one event per month that has different styles of music or different...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I mean,
Not really.
I'm not really like the main programmer, but I know our lineups quite well. We do try and book a diverse kind of cast of people. In a way, we kind of try not to put too much thought on that, because I think we all have quite a wide kind of music style, and we all kind of talk to each other and think about who we want to have next. And it always just comes out in a way that is just kind of diverse on paper, but in reality it's just like artists that we really look up to, or musicians that we really think that be a good opportunity for them to play at Fold. It's kind of that.
Yeah. Anything to add about like keeping the creation? No? The diversity, so you want to have obviously different programmation with different crowds. How do you make sure you attract different crowds and you keep your lines up quite open?
In the term of the line, and it's curious that question, because I've been working with a lot of different styles of music since my past in the music industry in Portugal. So I work with reggae, with dubstep, drum and bass, heavy metal, punk rock, reggae, I think I said, electro, house, minimal, and techno. So I kind of cover these 10 areas back in Portugal. And what I'm trying to do sometimes in Line and Lamp is have a diversification also about the music, but it's not that wide. Sometimes speaking different styles of music, you're going to achieve different types of crowds. But what you need to know is who is the person that have influence on that crowds. It's just not because now today we're going to do a dubstep or a reggae party that the venue is going to come up full. So you need to research, understand who is rocking this kind of music, who is the person like Bruno and Alf Baker on the reggae scene, because they exist and they hit as well and they make events. So it's understanding who is the leader on these kind of styles of events. And this comes with research and your work and your passion. I usually go out a lot, as he says, and I go out a lot to a lot of different kind of parties. Either alone sometimes because I don't get company, or with my girlfriend, or eventually with one or other friends. But our weekend usually is pretty active. After we finish work, I always ended up in some different kind of party, and sometimes totally flop, sometimes an amazing styles of music. Bruno, you have something else?
Well, I like hard techno though. My background is hard techno and drum and bass, indeed, for sure. But like next door, we do a lot of like live bands and stuff, and like we did some reggae nights and some other type of music. But yes, you need to keep the variety, but also like as a venue owner, you also got to be careful what you attract, which is a very good point. So we definitely don't do grime, R&B, and hip hop. Nothing against it. You like it, it's your problem, it's all good. But I'm not gonna be dealing with 500 people almost getting into a fight. So literally there is parties and parties that you can do it. You literally need to study that type of market and see what type of people is gonna come, because your license is a risk. Anything you do here, anything you do in your venue, it's a risk. So you got to be careful. You know? So that's pretty much. And also very quickly, coming back to what we were speaking about DJs being so expensive, you guys got to think about Ibiza and this is a point that we got to put it out there. Ibiza and table service and and how much tables are making nowadays, and that's why the artists are so fluctuate nowadays, because the agencies, they can see how much money they're making out of those, and this automatically it's affecting all of us as more promoters that don't do table service or don't have sponsors behind us. So.
But do you book the same kind of DJ that works with the clubs with tables and big promoters?
No anymore. They used to. Like back in the days, we did like Gab and other artists, But even then, even the American guys, like we used to book like a lot of time, like Omar S, Moody Man, etc., etc. Those guys, they actually, they're going for the big money because from US, they look as Ibiza is whole Europe, or London. We're like, way money everywhere, but it's not there, So, and also those artists, they don't sell as they used to, because there's a whole new generation coming over, and a whole new type of music coming over, which is what used to be a hype back in the day. It's not hype anymore. I love the house music. I love Chicago house, but nowadays you book DJ Q or Omar S or so, you're lucky if you have 300 people in a place, So, and they costing, fortune. So, it's a shame.
Yeah.
I think also the rise of DJ prices and exclusivity agreements, like exclusive mixes and exclusive DJing, it was really killing. Yeah, I know. It does. It happens. Yeah, that's kind of killing like small promoters in a way, especially in London, because instead of getting kind of cheaper venues and getting people that are local, it's kind of hard to do that nowadays. If you want to book the artists that you actually want to book, or even people that aren't that big, if they're playing in London, they're going to cost a lot of money. So it's also really hard to get into the bigger venues because they just require such a massive like venue hire just straight off, that as a small time promoter you're just like, what can I do? The only thing I can really advise is just to do it with other people, so you can kind of split up the money aspect of it, so it's less of a blow on you personally. And also it kind of splits up the ego a little bit. It kind of prevents there from being one kind of person or something behind a night. I'm not saying that if you run a night by yourself, you're going to have a big ego, but if you have like 8 people running a night, then, you have a certain mentality. I mean, that's almost too many, but there's a night in Scotland called Voigtkamp where there's like 8, 19, 20-year-olds that are like killing it at the moment, and they all have the same kind of vibe, same philosophy. And yeah, it's just teaming up with people, I think, is really important in London.
Yeah, and teaming up also keeps the diversity. Bas, I would like to have your opinion on this exclusivity thing, but on the DJ side, because obviously when you start signing with a record label and agency is great, but then it can also be restrictive. So what's the kind of goal as a DJ? Is it something you aim for, or you want to keep being super independent to be able to work with different people?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've always tried to stay away from anyone who tries to hold me down as an artist or as an individual in any way. Yeah, I mean, something like Ibiza is a great example. I've been playing there for the last few years. I'd play with Circo Loco, and then they would kind of say, you can't play anywhere else the whole season, and it was a dream of mine to play there, and I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I'll kind of, commit to that for a bit, but then...
How that affects your career and all the summer season? Is Circo Loco pay you more to avoid that?
No, it's a credibility thing. It is not what it used to be.
Yeah, so
it's changed a lot over the years, but that's also because of the way the industry's going. It's not just about music anymore. You look at someone's ethos, like Circo Loco, it was just all about music. Now it's kind of changed,
And also, the fact that you would have more routine in Ibiza, let's say for the summer season, even in smaller venues, couldn't help you on a following to bring you that people to Circo Loco than to see you on a bigger event? Did you understand my question?
Yeah, but there's no real small venues out there, to be honest. Everything is big. Everything's,
Okay.
you know, it's like, it's basically Vegas now. I'm not even, I've got no interest in playing there this summer because it's just completely changed. I've been playing quite a few gigs here in London and enjoying it, especially around this side of town, and it's just, it just feels good to me, and just being surrounded by people who I resonate with, and that's kind of why I do this. But as soon as it's, you know, conversation about, you know, hype and being top tier, and I just kind of lose interest. You know?